So we want to give them confidence. So by having a relatively straight application leg, this is much less invasive, and it feels like someone, pushing up against you in the elevator or in the metro, and less like someone's poking a hole in you. What you want to think of is that the force is going down my leg through my tibia, so like under my ankle, pretty much is where that vector of force is. So if I'm putting my weight on the ball of my foot, I've just created another lever in there, which is going to create some kind of instability. So if we want to create a stronger application, we want to kind of think about lining our force vector up right into the tibia there. And so then when we move our weight forward, or hips forward or backward, we're getting a pretty solid contact. The degree to which we move more towards our foot, it's going to create extra softness and a less direct application. So I try and usually go soft. And you can even, if you want it more powerful, you can go more on your heel, which is going to give you a really solid impact. How are you doing there?
Good. Holy hell.
So you're already going into you got to figure out gyrate, move, roll, spin, twist, bend, flex, extend, do what you need to do, because every client is going to be different. Everyone has a lifetime of stress that they put through their body, through their falls, their operations, their sports. It's going to be completely unique to them. No two people have that same signature. So you can't expect the same thing. You'll do something for one person, great, they love it. Other person is not going to feel anything, or it's going to be irritating. So, but we're not doing one thing. They're finding what they need, and they're going after it. And some people, like you guys are all movement specialists, so kind of you jump right into it right away, and you're kind of keen to go after it. But some people, it's a bit foreign to who they are, and so they'll need some encouraging. And as they say they get a bit of relief, they'll become a little bit more adventurous, and they'll go a bit farther and a bit farther. And so normally I should be just focusing on him, seeing what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
So I can do something, I can sort of put just a little torque.
Oh yeah.
And I'm creating a little bit more length. So let's give you a break and see what's going on there. You see when I took my foot off, it was nice and white, no blood left in there.
Oh, that feels so good. Wow.
I mean, I get this stuff all the time where someone I was working last week or 2 weeks ago with a guy, and one of the tests we were doing was an excursion, lower body excursion test. And essentially you're doing a pistol. And this fellow had never done a pistol before in his life, and I tested him out, and his dorsiflexion was so limited that there's a reason. So we did some work like this up against the wall to kind of open up that posterior chain. I spent about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And we went back and tested his dorsiflexion, and surprisingly it really hadn't changed. So I said, okay, that's not great, but I was expecting a little bit more. But then he went and he tried his excursion test again. He went right down into a pistol. He'd never done that before. So we changed his neurology, we changed his connection with his body, and things manifest themselves mysteriously. The next day he went, first thing he did, he said, I tried my pistol again, I still had it. Well, so this is one thing that we're doing here, this is something to remember, is essentially when we do a session with someone, we've just created a window of opportunity. So we've created a potential for you to modify your movement behaviors. We've given you that window, something has changed. Now the degree to which you begin to access this is the degree to which you are going to own it. Are you convinced?
Yeah.
Is that a lot easier on the right side?
Unbelievably. So my knee problems are that I pretty much have no cartilage whatsoever with my style.
Mm-hmm.
I've dislocated both knees multiple times, over and over and over, as I live with knee pain. This is my usual pistol. This is as deep as I can get on that left leg. And my left leg, as a dancer, is just supporting leg. This is my turning leg. This is my strong leg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I haven't done that in about 4 years.
So,
Not bad.
is that so that's not your normal pistol on that leg?
This is not this is my weaker leg.
Okay.
And like, for me, my normal pistol on this side is like here.
Yeah, we can see
yeah.
there's still restriction there.
Gotcha.
So for me, with the strong, my supporting leg, this is my pistol.
It's pretty flexible. So it should-
And you know, like when it comes to mobility, like
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and the left side, this is my good leg. Like, and now my weaker leg is now at the
So
same.
you feel a difference.
Wait.
So that's, when you think of the magnitude of change, which, I mean, it's like a joke. We did it for a second, I was hardly paying attention, and you did the work. So this is the great thing when you have a professional mover, they can access what they need. Their brain tells them, oh, this is the area I have to, you felt where you wanted to go, right?
Exactly.
Typically what happens, we try and move, so, yeah, that doesn't feel good. So we start moving a bit differently. And this will happen subconsciously, that we'll downgrade our movement, our kinesphere of movement to accommodate our impairment or our limitation. And so, like I said, gradually we move less and less. And if we start getting in there, what's interesting in all the people I've worked on is people say, oh yeah, I feel straighter, I'm sitting better, my posture is better. But more than anything else, what I've heard is that my outlook on life has changed. Meaning that through the tissue, we've created an emotional, a psychological, a spiritual change. Because, I mean, the tissue is our package, but it's more than a package. I mean, we're working with the neural interface. This fascia is not just, like they used to think, packing tissue. It's so neurologically active that we're changing who you are, basically. We're getting right down to that DNA level, so it can be pretty profound.